Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. So, I am Muhammad Safwan bin Abdul Rahman from Kuliah 17. So, today I will explain about one of the plant hormone which is auxins. So, basically, I will divide my presentation into four parts. First part will explain about one of the experiment that have been done by the scientists. So, the second part is how stem can bend. So third part, housing affect growth and development. So and the last part is commercial uses of the housings. So first, I will talk about housing experiment. So this experiment have been done by Fritz W. So in this experiment, before this, scientists find the why the shoot can elongate or the shoot can be bent. So the experiment that have been done by the Fritz W is at the colloidal. So this is colloidal. So basically at the colloidal, the scientists remove the tip. So after that, the tip was put on the agar block. So each the pink color diffused into the agar block. This shows that the auxin hormone at the tip can diffuse into the agar block. So then the agar block is put on the one side of the stem. So the effect is the the stem can be bent to the other side. It shows that there is something that cause the stem to elongate. So in this case, scientists found that one of the hormone that called auxin help to elongate the stem. So after that, I will explain about how stem can bend. So how auxins can affect the elongation of the stem. So basically, when unidirectional light auxin move to the shady side, then the auxin enter the nuclei, which means if the direction of the sun is from here, so the shady side is here. So auxin will move to this part and enter the nuclei. When it enter the nuclei, the pump of hydrogen ion will occur. So hydrogen ion pump to the cell wall. This cause acid trigger enzyme to dismantle the cellulose fiber, which it will cause the weaken of the cell wall. We can see the hydrogen ion is pumped to the cell wall and cause it to dismantle. So the cell wall become weaker. So after that, when cell wall that become weak, it will result decrease of turgor pressure. So basically, when the cell wall already weak, so the turgor pressure on this side will decrease. So it cause the turgor pressure inside the cell will less than outside. So water from other part will flow into the cell, so which can cause pressure of water begin. So then the stretch of wall occur. This will rebuilding a longer wall and cause the cell growth. Without the rebuilding of the cell wall, the cell might burst. So it causes this part to elongate. So next, I will explain about auxins affect growth and development. So basically, auxins have in phototropism and gravitopism, which mean in phototropism, it helps the plant to maximize the exposure of plant to the sun. So we can see that the tip of the conductor cause it to grow and help it to get maximum exposure from the to get the sunlight. So it also affect the gravitropism. Uh, Auxin will move to the lower surface of the roots and the stem. So this will cause, we can see that the root will move downward and the shoot will move upward. So next, the Auxin also can affect in apical dominance. Apical dominance means when apical dominance is the case when the apical will grow and it will prevent the axillary bite to grow. So it, which in other words, it influence of a terminal bite in suppressing the growth of axillary bite. So when we remove the terminal bite, it can make plant bushier. Auxins that produce in apical meristem will move downward and inhibit the growth of axillary bite, which means when auxin that produce in apical meristem, it will move downward and it inhibit the axillary bite, so it will grow upward. So when we cut the when we cut the terminal bite, so apical dominance will not occur. Thus, axillary bud will grow. So this can make the plant become bushy because it can grow horizontally. So basically, when we put back the terminal bud, it can help to terminal bud to grow back. So next, we can auxin also can help in growth of roots and fruits. So basically, by Auxins hormone, the roots and the fruits can develop more quickly. So it also help the fruit to drop off when Auxins concentrate at the leaf and the fruit. So by concentrating at this part, so leaf and fruit can prevent from drop off. So lastly, I will talk about the commercial uses. So basically, there is a lot of artificial auxins that we can use in commercial, for commercial purpose. So we can spray on plant to induce development of fruit without pollination. So one of the synthetic or common housings that always used by in commercial is indolyoacetic acid, which IAA. We usually use this housing to develop a fruit without pollination. Next, housings also can use as herbicide to control broadleaf of weeds. For And lastly, one of the other housing is Agent Orange. It defoliate forests, which already used in Vietnam during Vietnam War. It helped to defoliate forests, which means it remove all the leaf. So the the excessive or the concentrated auxin shows that it can be carcinogenic because it defoliate forests. So I think that is all from me. So housing usually really important to have the commercial to improve the commercial users and to improve the growth of the plant. I think that's all from me. Thank you.